Jack in.
Welcome back to Accounts of the Night Beast. This is episode number 5 entitled It's Full of Stars. Last episode, the group arrived at Retributor Gold, a city on the planet of Cruciatu in the Dracian system. They were transporting a Urbot who, during the travel, requested that the group recover a specific item, or rather a specific entity, called the Data Core, which is, according to the Urbot, it is sealed inside of the lower levels of the spires of Retributor Gold. Unfortunately, an outbreak of something known as the Night Beast, roll credits, happens to have plagued the lower levels of Retributor Gold spires. So the group has acquired a vehicle and is going to attempt to enter into the lower levels below basically quarantine. And as we discussed last session, your initiating roll was rolled pre this session, and you did extremely well, critically well. So we are missing one player. I will be NPCing him. He won't have any addition. He won't be making any additions to the series. It's pretty simple what he'll be doing. But that said, moving along, the group inside of the vehicle managed to find kind of a open moment when the security detachments on the lowest level aren't really paying much attention to the access point to descend to lower levels, and they managed to, with some of the members on foot, secure the elevator or turbo lift so that no one gains access to it, and then very quickly bring the armored vehicle aboard that elevator. Through some quick manipulation of the system, they are able to basically override its normal functioning to allow it to descend exactly one level. And upon doing so, they immediately exit into the dark tunnels and passageways inside of this level, allowing the turbo lift to return back to its normal functioning. You enter into what appears to be quite a bit of wreckage compared to what you've seen above. It does look like there has been a bit of a scuffle. Firefights looks like they have taken place here on this level. And there's kind of broken access ports, sparks kind of flying, but mostly kind of pitch black, with the exception of some kind of venting windows over top that allow some light to kind of enter in. This appears to be kind of just regular daylight, but it's very kind of faint in that the plates are still kind of obscuring. You are able to drive the vehicle through the passageway a bit, but you don't really have an idea of how you'll make it from point A to point B, point B being where the data core is located. You know that the elevator trick wouldn't have allowed you to descend further, but you do have the turbo lift access port that you could descend down if you'd like to. You would know that it is basically somewhere in the vicinity of 6 levels below where you are currently. Yeah. But upon immediate kind of scene setting, we'll say that Mo is basically taking up the driver's position. I know he's not the best driver, but he's going to do it. And everyone else, is there anything that you want to investigate, or are you staying inside the armored vehicle and trying to utilize it?
When would one of the things I brought with me was my small drone.
Okay, hold on a second, John.
Yep.
Time out really quickly, because we had agreed last time that I was driving, and because of that I had a heavy load, and because of if I'm not driving, I'd change my load.
Scratch that. You are driving. You are the best driver.
Okay.
Kevin Yeah, sorry. So Kevin is going to remain in the vehicle and protect the driver. New
Okay.
role.
I'm fucking loading up just clips and mags,
Well,
latching guns to my back, to my side.
you weren't
putting a
here
gun in the
last time.
holster.
So
Okay, cool.
You weren't here last time, so we would have determined that you would have been in a heavy loadout. So that's fine. Yeah, you've got the gear. It's already basically been that loadout process happened on the ship. Then you kind of moved to the armored vehicle and descended into the tunnels. Sorry to cut
The
you
whole
off.
time you're fine. The whole time I'm putting on that gear and that equipment, I'm just sitting there staring at what's Tim's character's name again? Quinn, right?
Yeah.
Just staring at Quinn, just thinking about when we were training. Just fucking jack off and just putting it on.
You would see me kind of preparing my drone, getting him ready to send out to kind of do reconnaissance ahead of us, hoping that a smaller thing is less visible than a big thing, and we might be able to get some visuals on where we're headed.
Okay, so let me explain the situation one more time so you kind of have an idea of what we're looking at here. So you're on the Spire. The Spire has its complete level, right? You enter to this level, which is the level right below the plates, because it was the only means of accessing this point and not basically signaling off that you were doing a bad. From this point, you know, based on the outlay or outline of the spire above you, that there will be different access points to descend. There's also the turbolift access that you just entered, which you could utilize as well. The vehicle will not go down that because that's a falling situation, not a good time for it. Now, your vehicle does have it is a repulsor system, but it is still going to fall. It doesn't fly. It kind of jettisons off of solid material. But if you were able, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, you never thought I'd flown a rock before. Please, have you seen my mechanic?
I'll give it a shot. Maybe we can hit into the right where we're going. Oh, we're falling all the way down to the earth, huh? So there are other access points besides that turbo lift. Okay, you just have to look out for. You can scout out for those, or you can leave the armor vehicle here, which obviously you probably won't want to do, and then descend down and move that way.
So you're saying that the access points would be big enough for the vehicle to get into?
There's potentially other access points that would allow for that. Yeah.
So what exactly is in spy gear?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Page 66. Cool. I'll look at it. Thank you.
Same thing I was doing, Andy. Picking it up in the
Road index.
Yeah, so is it possible to send my drone out ahead to like let's say there's like splitting paths, I'd have it go one way, we go another, just to cover more ground in the.
Sure. So there's left and right, and there's down the turbo lift.
Flynn, what you feeling?
Well, I ain't a big fan of going down too much if we can avoid it, but I don't know, left.
All right, I'll send the drone right then. Cover more ground.
Yo, what do you think the oxygen content is in the atmosphere currently?
If you do a quick scan inside of the the vehicle, you would note that oxygen levels are fine. There does appear to be some particulates, but the particulates appear to mainly be kind of scoring and kind of dust residual that's come off of kind of metal paneling, and also stuff from outside that's kind of got into the filtration from where basically the exterior is leaked into the interior. But outside's not, outside's super breathable. Like, it's almost flammable, it's so breathable.
That's what I'm concerned about. He goes back to the armored car, puts his flamethrower into the armor. Well, maybe.
You don't think, based on the percentages, you think it should be fine inside?
Okay, just wondering.
And can you remind us, is there a big temperature differential from down to up? Like, is it hotter down here?
It's the same temperature straight inside the AV as it was, or inside the vehicle as it was upstairs.
Okay, but we don't know what it's like outside because we haven't been outside.
Right? You can check the temperature from vehicle. It looks like there's a temperature drop of 5 degrees.
Do you think these beasts are pretty susceptible to fire, Quinn? What do you think?
Well, I'm not an anatomy expert. Doc, what do you think?
It's impossible to determine that. It doesn't seem like we got much information on their physiology.
Well, we should go find out.
We did learn a little bit about that.
Right.
We learned that if they were able to survive entry into the atmosphere, then they would probably be able to withstand heat pretty well.
Yeah.
Well,
Good memory, Kane.
It is not a exact analogy to alien movies you're familiar with.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah.
So we don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like fire will be super helpful, but you never know.
Flamethrower stays in the mess.
But it would look really
Alright.
cool, though.
I put the flamethrower back
I'm
on.
pissing around. Something like that probably will work.
I just want to use it really bad.
Not that he wanted to get that close, but Kane's sword might do some good.
That's what the only weapon I'm carrying is my sword. Actually, I have a blaster on my side, but it's probably not. It's a little rusty.
So,
All right, so these entrances. Let's
If
Quinn,
the-
go scout right now. Let's
the
do
drone went one direction. Is the vehicle driving in the opposite direction?
Yeah.
Are we in a rush?
it. I am.
Why can't the drone scout both directions before we make a decision? The doctor asks as he starts driving down the tunnel, I'm assuming.
But he starts driving down the tunnel and then just sort of like stops and he's like, "Oh, do something."
Driver's gonna drive.
This could take a while. Just saying. I'm kind of thinking the reason for the rush is spending as little time down here as possible to, the whole Minotaur moment. I don't want to be stuck in the maze when the Night Beast comes. So the faster we can find a way, the better.
And my question out of character, what's the speed of the drone versus the speed of the vehicle?
Drone's probably a lot faster.
Nope. Then do what you're doing.
Okay. If you're kind of surveilling through the drone's opticals while Flynn is driving the vehicle, two of you kind of reach circumstance at about the same time. So Flynn, you come to a point where the passageway looks like there is a blast door that is not closed all the way. Is just kind of open a bit, and this is you're well off from it. You're not right on it or anything, but you can see that it appears that there's a very bright light coming from the ajar door. It looks like there's also a bit of smoke kind of tailing out of it, and you can kind of see like dust kind of floating in the air. The red siren lights, like the kind of alert lights, have kind of stopped and are just kind of glowing like an idle orangey red. But it's a ways away. And then on the other side, what you're looking at through the drone, as you kind of pull it around, this would be about twice as far away from the turbolift as the vehicle has made it. You find what appears to be a access point for descent for vehicles. So basically a drive path that would descend down to the next level.
Hey Flynn, I won this round.
What do you mean you won this round?
I found the access point. You went the wrong way.
Everything's a competition with you two. Just cut it already.
And John, you said there is a well, anyway.
It is
Alright.
the light should not be that bright. Like
Yeah.
it is like heaven's
Yeah, I was
bright.
actually thinking like I hope going through this ain't the light that you go to meet Gammy.
But you don't have to go that way. You could just turn around. But if you want to, I mean, that's definitely an odd occurrence. It is a very strange door. The other thing I will note for your group is that shadow that you've been feeling in the way, Kane.
Yeah.
It's not here right now. You can feel the way more purely the closer you get to this door.
I would say that to the group. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Is this sort of a little, eye of the storm in a way? They're not here.
You don't
I
know?
don't know.
Yeah. Should we have our tech inspect that door?
I mean, do you want me to open it?
Well, you don't necessarily have to open it, but you see we can glean about it. Like, what is it about this door? Or, I don't know.
I mean, I can bring the drone back, send it through the opening, and see what's what, and then we don't have to put ourselves in any kind of peril.
Okay, so the drone could open the door?
But it slows us down again, which might give time for the Minotaur Night Beast to find us.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to happen no matter what.
Doors ajar enough that the bot can probably go through it, I think.
I'm going to
Great.
give you a quick note for you guys, so I just want to make sure you understand this. If the Night Beast finds you, based on everything you've learned about it, the game's over. It's not like a situation where, like, oh no, the scary monster, it's literally, I incorporate your biological mass into my being in instance. It's not a, oh no, it's a monster.
Run away from pyramids.
What? It's
See,
not
you
a.
haven't told us that. You haven't.
It's
said
not
that
a
to us.
drive. Put
I have
the pedal
told
to the metal.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. You
you
kind of
had-
did
Uh,
with the flashback.
I would.
It'll be right. It'll be like, if it finds us, one of us might have to sacrifice ourselves for the rest to get out. Like, it's getting things on the way and running. We don't try to fight, and we try not to even be seen. If we're seen, we're probably dead.
Do you want to check out the door, or do you want to just back up and go to the downwards?
Let's check out this door.
Yeah, let's check out the door.
Okay.
check out the door.
Are
We walk through the door, and there's the Night Beast.
Are we driving up to the door? Are we disembarking and moving up to the door? What are we doing?
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
cover the
get-
door from the car. I'm getting
Yeah, I
up
was
on
gonna
top of the car, sniper
Get the
rifle out.
car.
The vehicle
That's-
doesn't have access points that allow. I mean, unless you get out and strap
I'm
yourself. to
getting
the
out
ceiling.
and strapping myself on top of the car.
Okay. So, since you're the first one to get out of the vehicle, you will note that there is kind of a scent to the atmosphere here, the air here, that's a little different than upstairs and what you're used to. You, being a person in the medical field, probably are very familiar with this smell. It is a very kind of irony, very kind of just
Blood.
primal kind of bloody smell that just fills the air. As you kind of pop up onto the vehicle starts trundling forward, and the bright light is so bright, even from like an outside perspective or even closing in on it, you cannot see beyond the doors. It is really fucking bright, whatever's in there. Alright, so once you get close and my green screen starts to fade there weirdly, do any of you want to proceed into the doors?
Hey,
Have any protective eye gear?
I was going to ask, Kane, can you like use your sensey stuff to maybe touch without touch? Feel the thingy on the other.
I
Whatever.
could try to sense what's on the other side of the door. Yeah, see if I could reach out to it.
Yeah.
Is it like, yeah? Oh.
Yeah, thought for a second.
Ooh.
God, you went all green for a second.
Yeah, you guys are always saying that, but I don't
Pay no
believe you.
attention to the man behind the curtain.
But sorry, you were saying you want
So I'm gonna try to use. I'm gonna try to use the way to sort of see if I could sense if there's some other kind of force behind the door.
There isn't. It feels like there is just a kind of unblocking. Like it just feels like the way is more normal here, like it was before you got to Retributor Gold, and before you kind of started messing around down the lower levels.
Okay, so
All right.
I'm not sure why that would be. Well, I mean, it seems like it would be a good thing that the way is unblocked. I don't know.
Do you wish to enter in?
Sure.
Okay, so who's going into the door?
I'll follow behind them.
I'll
Yeah,
go.
I'm
Truck, bring the drone
Kane will
back.
go. I'll go.
Kane, Runt,
I'm sticking with the car in case we need to make a quick exit.
Sosmo. Quinn, you're on the.
You can call me. I'm gonna be in here.
I think it's just you and me, Runt.
Pieva, you going in or no?
I'll go with them.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
The three of you drop out. Runt, very heavily armored, kind of geared up. rifle in hand, moving out behind Kane.
Actually, I'm gonna switch sniper rifle, put that back, vibroblade,
Yeah.
and then my handgun.
I love it. All right, and then Kane, sword on hand, or hand
Yeah,
on
so
sword.
he's got like sort of medium, like not robes, but let's say tight-fitting leathers or something like that.
Like Old Republic instead of Jedi.
Exactly.
Got it. And Vieva dressed for. Did you go heavy loadout?
Heavy loadout, yeah.
Also geared up to the nines. You pass through the light barrier, and your eyes adjust, and you realize that it's not. It's basically an illusion of light, because you're in kind of like a dark hallway, and the room that you're entering into is very well lit. The light that's streaming out creates this kind of blinding effect. Vieva, you very quickly recognize what you've walked into. This is a medical lab. You see that there are 6 massive tubes. They appear to be made out of translucent ceramite, which is a very hard glass. It's not really glass, it's actually a stronger substance, but it's transparent. And inside you can see what look like the twisted remains of dead people. And when I say twisted remains, I mean they have been mutated beyond your recognition of what would be a normal being. One of them looks like their face has broken in half, and it looks like where a brow would be, teeth have descended out, an eye has grown out on a tongue, and the jaw itself has split into 3 jaws, which kind of intercess amongst themselves. You presume oscillating around one another to consume. Again, the horrors that you're looking at are very hard to describe. So whatever.
Are they black, like the black tendrils?
No, they are human fleshy colors, but the twisted flesh look like they are basically abominations that have been created out of. One of them looks like it might have been a human, and another one looks like it might have been a Jane Shin and a Harun that have fused into one being.
Right,
A
but
Haroon?
this does not seem to be what you described as happening when the night beasts sort of assimilate people, right? This
Correct.
seems different. Okay.
Well,
So this may be some sort of like experiments.
The twisting nature does have a certain kind of it makes sense. If you are, I want to make sure I understand the situation, right? So the heavy loaded people, I'm assuming you're wearing kind of like battle helmets, right? Because
Yeah.
that would make sense. And those have cameras on them, which can be cycling back to the armored vehicle. So
And comms, yeah.
yeah, Flynn, Quinn, and Mo are able to kind of watch. And Flynn, the twisted nature of these creatures, immediately brings back the flashback. This is the thing. To all your kind of recollection of the thing. This is so copyright infringement is in there. That being said, Vieva, looking at this, it looks like these are extractor units, and you can see that there is kind of like a display console, and it looks like somewhere where something was extracted from these creatures, but that whatever it was has been removed.
Vieva, can
The
you
material
tell what they took?
itself, or
Yeah, so the extractors would have like dispensed it into kind of like a container.
right? But there's a bunch of terminals around here. Are they powered up? Am I able to
Yeah.
try and like access the data that's
If you go,
available?
if you go and check, basically all it describes is that percentage 0, 0% remaining, specimen ready for destruction.
Is there any way to know whether, I mean, if you're Haroon, there's no way I know whether they're Hesh or what, right? There's no fucking way I would ever know.
No. Yeah, because the only difference between a Harun and a Hesh is whether or not they're not.
Just, I'm curious if there are markings
You-
or anything along those lines.
You know what the difference would be.
I
But
Oh.
you would know it's not a physical difference. It
correct.
is a-
It's an idealistic. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
let's
understand.
call it idealistic.
Let's just. Okay.
Right, wing.
I just wanted to know.
I can't do it.
Kane would ask Vieva, do you think that they're extracting the night beast from these people, and this is what's left?
Can I make a study roll to see if I can determine what material was extracted?
So let's actually do the game right. So you want to discover what material was extracted, and the roll that you want to make is study, and then I'm going to tell you that it's going to be standard and standard success, but it's going to be risky standard. I'm going to get this one day. And then you can
You're
decide
getting there.
whether or not to throw in additional dice through, Devil's Bargain, Gambits, whatever.
No, I'm just gonna roll.
All right.
I got a 6.
Nice.
Okay. Slap on another Gambit, and that is a success. And as I said, it was a risky. All right. So you start plugging through the information, and what you realize is these consoles and this system appears to belong to a Retributor Gold corporation, and it seems like they call themselves Beast Mode LLC. And those of you who are watching through cams and kind of paying attention to the dialogue that's being had, if you've had past experiences upstairs with that, you might recognize that name. It seems that they are indeed extracting something called prime material, is what they're referencing it, from the specimens that have been captured.
And so if Vieva says that out loud, Cain would say that when he was in the temple, in the city, he learned that beast mode was made from somehow some sort of green ichor related to the night beasts. And it was very dangerous, and they were selling it. There's like a brisk business in it, so maybe this is what's happening here.
And based on what you have referenced, that green ichor is now known as prime material.
Anything we can collect here, you need here, can we get the fuck out?
What you will note is this tunnelway, like this laboratory, does look like it was very makeshift. It was kind of set up, kind of just like in the hallway. And it looks like the main reason for this is there's a massive kind of power conduit that has basically been utilized by Beast Mode LLC to basically abscond the power still flowing down here in the lower terminals to power their systems.
And do you want anything else with the specimen as he trains his flamethrower on?
I think you would be smart enough to know that translucent ceramite will not be burned.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that getting inside of that case is going to require the key. If you want to try and break open the system with like computer stuff to get at them and destroy them, you can. Oh my God! Stop it!
I thought that was the night beast.
Do we have time for that?
That's a good sound effect, John.
These cats, man.
John, you need to isolate that sound real quick and get it ready for when you use the night beast.
And then click. Splice it in with like the aliens like hissing. Oh man, that'd be dope. But no, Dan, if you are set on kind of destroying the specimens, you can. But it does look like they are just kind of floating in some liquid, transparent, no color to it, inside of transparent like tubes.
So I'll turn to Runt. If it's that important to you, I might be able to open it, but as I've said, the prime material has been extracted. These are basically just corpses.
Well, let's let them decompose and return to their natural state.
Okay.
Nope.
So as you're kind of sitting there and you're about to start doing that, you see the red indicator light for the door that's on the opposite side of the door that you entered through start flaring, which would signal to you that that door is about to open. What would you three like to do that are present?
Cover.
Defensive position.
You're standing into a defensive position prepared to fight, or are you hiding?
John, are we getting visuals from them?
Yeah.
Get back to the Hummer. We're gonna leave. Okay.
Yeah, I am going to, in game terms, attempt to scramble my way back to the
Okay. So
vehicle.
see who's doing right? This guy. So my question to you is what
Okay.
are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. So from Dan, it sounded like he's going to try and kind of move for hiding.
I'm covering them as they retreat.
Oh,
Fine, then I'll scramble as well.
Change the thing. So then you're all scrambling. Okay. So then
No,
that's...
I'm not scrambling. I'm scrapping.
Oh, that's...
I'm falling back.
Okay, tactically falling
So he's
back.
giving
Yeah,
us an opportunity to scramble, maybe with better luck.
Correct.
Okay, so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just have Kane, the lead scrambler, go ahead and be the one that scrambles. If it goes poorly, then we will lead into the scrapping.
Okay. So go ahead. Is there any bonus because we're essentially being helped by Runt?
We're not being helped.
We're not being helped. He's basically a fallback situation. This is a risky standard.
Yeah, keep in mind also we do have 2 gambits right now, so if you need to feel you need to use one of them, use one of them.
You also have pushing yourself for more dice, and you have Devil's Bargain.
Is there any way I can assist him? Because my plan was
Yeah.
also to
Since
scramble.
you're both scrambling and Runt
Right.
basically is being tagged along, if you scramble successfully, Runt is also going to get out. But if you do not do so successfully, the situation will be that during the scrap portion, when you have to kind of defend yourself more physically, he'll be making a more desperate kind of attempt because of
Yeah,
your
so I'll take the stress, Andy, to give you the bonus die on the assist.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a gambit as well, and then one stress. So it's 2 bonus die.
Yeah, but you cannot push yourself for another dice. You can push
Right.
yourself for effect. Are you doing that? You wouldn't get a stress anyway. He's getting the stress for helping. So if you're just taking the help in the gambit, that's plus 2 dice, no stress. But if you push, you can push for effect, which means it'll go from risky standard to risky great.
And you will take 2 stress for that, right?
Yep. He'll take 2, and then Zach would take 1 because he's helping.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so risky great is what we're rolling, and we've got 2 bonus dice.
Two sixes.
Critical success.
I rolled scrap, but it's the same as scramble. I have the same level.
I believe you. But 2 sixes means it's a critical success. So
Do we get 2 gambits?
No, just one.
just one. So you do it with increased effect. Great is normally the highest effect, but what would be your dream scenario here? The 3 of you kind of exiting, kind of getting to the doors, not being spotted, and being able to kind of watch what's happening. Is that
Yes.
your dream?
Absolutely.
Okay, so basically what happens is these two, Vieva and Kane. Kane, you kind of like quickly kind of rush the way around you, and you kind of move very quickly, like Jedi style, footfalls. Vieva very quickly kind of was on the way out anyways, and just, better lucky than dead. And Runt, kind of backing out, sees that there's no one to kind of protect and just kind of falls back military style, getting to the door. As you all dip in, the doors crack, and you kind of watch as what appears to be kind of like a repulsor sled with one of those canisters laying flat on it. Inside, you see a twisted malady of what appears to be a child, female child, whose lower half is basically split into 8 different limbs, each one with like a long 3-foot blade at its end. Just a twisted look of agony in the child's face, being kind of carted in. It looks like a just horrific kind of octopus with blade tentacles. It's gross. But they're wheeling it in, and when I say they, I mean, it looks like there are 2 individuals dressed in heavy armor. It looks like this is the same style of armor that is utilized by the hegemony, but it's all black. They have no markings or indicators, but it is very much the case in your mind that this is armor that would come from the core worlds. So either it's people who have purchased or acquired hegemonic attire and made it their own, or they are hegemonic.
So yeah. So I would get the idea that they're taking this beast mode or liquid pain off worlds. Maybe it's become a big business.
What you watch them do is they move over to one of the units. They drop the cylinder, kind of falls off mechanically, just kind of click. And as it falls, the top of it kind of drops out. Liquid splashes out, and the body kind of comes out. You hear their voices. You don't know exactly what they're saying. Instead, what you hear is very similar to, for those of you who played Half-Life 2, it sounds like the Combine kind of voices. As the body kind of hits the ground, one of them grabs it, walks over to a chute, and throws it in there, as the other one is basically using the repulsor sled to lift the one that they have up into it. The other guy who went to dispose of the body reaches over and grabs a canister from a box. It appears to have kind of a strange kind of yellowish liquid. It almost looks like urine in the canister, and slots it into place. Then watches the yellow liquid kind of goes into the bigger canister, kind of like comes up like a cloud, and then kind of all attaches to the body. They then hit a couple of buttons, and you start seeing the thing inside kind of spasming, and it then starts to kind of drain of the black ichor, which you can see parts of the body are kind of latched together with it, start to peel downwards and kind of come into the canister. It looks like a very slow process, though. Like it'll be a while before that fills.
Are we? May I understand? Like, if we were to talk, they'd probably hear us, right?
You can talk. No, you can talk. You've got comms, so you're whispering over chatter.
What are we doing here? Are we taking these guys out quietly?
Get back to me, dude.
We're not getting paid for that.
Okay.
This is more trouble than we need right now.
Okay. If you descend back to the vehicle's decently far back enough that you can kind of slowly back away.
I would ask Quinn to send his drone, or wait, the drone's down the hall the other way. Never mind.
You could, I would say, in the amount of time that's come back, the drone's probably made it back to the turbo lift. So, in short order, it'll be with you, but it'll be just a little bit. But Flynn, if you're kind of backing out slowly and just kind of like getting away, that's not a problem. Is that the plan? I don't want to talk you into.
I mean, I was kind of going to be waiting for the guys to get back, and
Yeah. That's what I was saying. So they get into the
yeah.
vehicle if that's where they're headed. Is that where you're headed?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they get back in the vehicle, and then you slowly back away, and get to a point farther enough away that you can make a slightly louder than you'd like, turn around, and start making your way back towards the drop down. Is that right?
Yep. All right, you guys seem to be getting out of the kind of haste. You find something fun while you were over there?
So yeah, I think that they're making some of those drugs that I was telling you about in there, and some pretty tough-looking characters are there. Maybe you don't want to mess with that.
What does beast mode actually do to someone who takes it anyway?
Yeah, there's this kind of moment where it kind of focuses the camera in on Quinn, and he's got that nervous look. Like the people watching at home know.
Special.
The people
It just zooms in on his bag.
The people watching at home know. Like
Beast
he's
mode.
got it.
I suppose if I had a sample of it, I might be able to figure it out. But without that, I couldn't tell you much.
Well, look at full thought right here. And I pull out a file from my
This is a very special episode.
So
Wait a second. Hold on a second. You get on my back about my spending and you buy drugs?
It's not a vial. It's basically just like a thing of ibuprofen. It's that kind of bottle.
I don't even remember how I got it.
You bought it.
You bought it.
You bought it. They call it liquid pain.
Well, I figured this might be useful. I don't know. Uh, heavies might need them in a fight. I don't know. I picked it up. I thought it might be a useful resource.
And you couldn't have told me this when I had a medical bay to research it.
Slipped my mind. What can I say?
Incredibly helpful. Give. And I handed my hand out to take the pills from him.
The packaging seems to have like one of the capsules kind of on it, and it appears to be, a liquid gel cap with kind of like a bright green substance inside that kind of looks like it has like dark kind of trails inside of it. If you open up the thing, you'll note that immediately upon doing so, it isn't your stereotypical just plastic container. There seems to be like a air seal, and you hear a psss, and as you kind of pull the top off, you can see inside the number of pills as purchased. I think it was 100, right?
50.
Like that.
50, that's
Oh.
right. Are inside, and each one of them seems to be kind of like glowing lightly, like almost like a firefly that's dimming down, and inside you can see that the liquid gel capsules, the interior of them seems to be moving, like it was alive.
Tark wants one of those so bad. No reaction from Dan. Oh well.
I was going to say this sounds like something that Mo would eat.
We're not playing guinea pig with.
Oh, I'm not saying we're going to feed him. I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
all
guess-
the talk about like spider, whatever it is, soup. I'm just saying this sounds like something that Mo would be into eating.
Fair enough. I thought you were doing the typical. Oh, he's not here today, so let's go ahead and feed him the things that are possibly going to kill him.
Oh no. I'm not going to feed it to him. I'm just saying it reminds you of his food.
Fair.
I do want to take one out and then reseal the container.
Okay. It locks, and you kind of hear a like it's resetting itself to not have like full oxygen in it. You're looking at the capsule. It seems to move. And not the capsule. The capsule's nice and firm, but the interior of it seems to be moving.
And does it have any smell?
No, it's a liquid.
Like it's a gel capsule, right? So I
Yeah.
can't like notice anything unless I opened it up.
Which you could do if you wanted.
I know. I'm afraid of something that's moving in this tiny confined space.
Yeah,
Uh,
the thing locks out air.
At this
So
point,
if you want-
the drone acclimates to the vehicle, so your drone's back with you. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
Oh, right. I don't know if we'd want it sitting out the container. We can't do anything with it right now. Who knows what atmosphere does to it? What reaction it might cause. So. the other-
What am I doing inside of you?
Did the supplier tell you exactly what happens when consumed?
Let me check my notes.
If I remember correctly, I wasn't there though. It makes you like be able to go for long periods of time. It's like an upper,
Yeah.
serious upper.
I think it gave you like some energy boost, like Andy's saying.
It
Yeah,
it
it's
puts
like
you in beast mode.
It puts you in beast mode. It's like rocket fuel. Keeps you alert.
It's like that old Transformers TV show, but the one from the '90s with the bad CGI.
I
Oh,
think
How are
this
they
is going-
creating these abominations that they're harvesting this stuff from?
I think what's happening is, if I understand it correctly, is the humans who are being absorbed into the night beast, they're then taking them and taking the stuff out of them afterwards somehow.
That's what I was thinking. But
So.
why are the night beasts and these things in cahoots, or is it just
I don't
they're
think so.
here?
So one of the
Yeah.
things that I learned is that it seems as if some of the forces up in the city have been clearing out the night beast from the lower levels. Maybe this is part of that, and then they just developed like a very profitable business with the remains.
Makes sense.
Could be.
I'm sure.
High risk,
I'm sure
high
Beast
reward.
Mode LLC doesn't want them completely exterminated.
At this point
That way
in
they lose no profit.
At this point in the scene, it kind of cuts back from to the outside of the AV. Flynn, I assume you're planned path is drive down the ramps, head down to the next level, right? So it
Yeah.
kind of like everyone kind of feels the bump inside, but like the scene shows it kind of descending down, coming around to the thing, and kind of stopping at the intersection at the bottom. It seems that there's no continuation, and the thing you would notice is that it did at one time have a continuation upwards, but it looks like that has been blown out and blocked off by a plate. Um, when you descend down to the bottom, it looks like the same is true of below that point. Like they attempted to set up a plate below this level and use this as the last level, but that didn't work. And so, from what you can tell, there's no descent from this access point further down. But as it kind of stops there in the middle, the scene shows the vehicle, and you hear what sounds like loud gunfire coming from the pathway to the left. The camera kind of does one of those, like, looks down the cameraways. There's nothing visible there, but you can hear the sounds of. Sounds like
Hope we don't have to go that way.
sounds like a pretty
Sounds-
lively firefight.
Yeah, it sounds like game over, man. Game over.
Okay, so left path, right path.
Well, you said left path, there was gunfire.
Yeah, and based
Send the drone.
based on your perspective, left would be going, or going right would be going the same direction if you were up above. If you were to turn right from where you are, you'd be headed back towards the turbo lift.
So I've got a question. If we're going to send, like, about sending the drone, can the drone go, like, stealthily / quietly so as to not draw attention from man nor beast nor whatever else is down there?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, I can try and get eyes on what the firefight's about, but I'm sure we can make an assumption.
While this conversation is happening, I do want to put the pill back in the container and put the container in my bag.
Okay.
That's what I should use my flamethrower on.
I love how we just have Dan's
Bag.
forehead and camera. It's so cool.
Fuck you. I love how we just have John's incorporeal head
Hey,
and hands.
At least it's the whole head, right, John?
Look at my forehead.
oh my god, you have the same. You two have the same hairline.
All right, so
baldness.
while the drone goes left, do we want to go to the right? Both for the fact of it's the only option really available to us, and also put more distance between us and random gunfire.
Yes, and then we'll know what's happening when the gunfire stops. Whether we should run like hell or what.
Yeah.
Well, if it stops and they start retreating, they're probably coming our way no matter what.
No, I'm saying if it stops, and
They're dead.
Yeah, that's true too.
Your brother's
we
not
have-
the smartest.
Okay. So you
Well, you know, I'm always the optimist. Maybe they beat the Night Beast.
Yeah, also parents dropped them on his head a lot.
you drive back the way
Oh,
to the
you
right.
talk.
You drive back the way to the right as the drone goes off to the left. As you're viewing it, Quinn, what you see as you kind of approach is it looks like there are two squads that are engaged in a firefight. It looks like there's a lot of cover present. It looks like they're trying to kind of muscle in towards the other group, but it seems that they kind of are out of a bit of a stalemate, and they're literally just kind of mostly just firing over cover, not popping their heads out. In the process, you watch one of them accidentally kind of pop their head out too far and get scooped clean. The squad that you're closest to, that you're kind of behind, black armor, similar to the two guys that you saw upstairs, and you were paying attention to the camera videos, so you recognize them as the same people who were night beasting. And the squad on the opposite side appears to be just regular folk, like not too dissimilar from the people that were up and about, kind of up on the higher platform areas. It definitely looks like the armored folks have superior firepower and armaments. The opposite side has less technological advancements, but there's a lot more of them. So it does seem that they're at kind of a stalemate, but it looks like the two forces are fighting one another.
All right, it looks like we got those beast mode security forces closer to us. They out technologically advanced the other guys. The other guys look like probably scavengers, just civilians, trying to make a buck. There's more of them, but things at a standstill for now. But one's gonna give soon. We might be able to bargain our way past the scavengers if we flank the security forces.
Do you keep watching them, or do you pull back the drone?
I try to get like on edge just to kind of monitor, but try to make it as unnoticeable as possible. Like I don't want to be too like I'm willing to sacrifice maybe the edge of vision to secure the safety of the drone so it doesn't get busted.
Got it.
Or
So
surveyed.
if you stay and watch, what you notice is that it looks like were 6 of the Beast Mode LLC soldiers. There are now 5, but it looks like 3 of them are focused on dragging 2 individuals that appear to have been stunned, not killed, over to their side of the skirmish. And then the other 2 are holding down cover fire for them as they continue shooting. As you're paying attention to the fight, you realize that they're not using standard blasters. They're using stun weaponry. So they're not killing the opponents. They're stunning the opponents and pulling the bodies to their side of the fight.
Beast Mode's abducting these guys.
I say we go and kill them.
I mean,
Again,
I can't
we're
tolerate
not getting
this.
paid for that.
Yeah, but I can't tolerate this. What are we doing?
We're
We're
going
doing
to
a
find
job.
Doc, right now they're in the way. We have to help one side or the other, and then it's just basically where your morals stand. What can
Well,
we
no,
Sorry,
we
did we
ran
get all the way to
van.
the end of our other path? Dude,
No. Because the truck moves slower than the thing, and that was literally right at the base of the thing.
We could-
absolutely no reason to assume they're in our way. In fact, at the moment, they're way out of our way.
Okay, because I'm working under the assumption that we're gonna hit the grav lift that we can't actually use.
Yep, the
because
turbo
it's
lift
gonna be a
is.
drop.
You're passing by the turbo lift as we speak. That's more than fair.
Does the passage just keep going past the turbo
Yeah.
lift?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not a dead end. It's just this is the path that we would go to get to
So-
the turbo lift.
So yeah, let me help you out here. So here's the turbo lift, right? I can't talk and hold this at the same time. This is a dumb idea to try and use this as a thing. But imagine the turbo lift is kind of in the center, right? And you went
Okay,
to the
okay.
left at first to get to it, and then you descended. When you turned right, you're going right back to the turbo lift. But you have to continue around the outside.
Okay. Okay, that would change my assessment of the situation.
Okay.
I inform them of what's going on, but I wouldn't necessarily say we have to help them. Like, run.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
still be that diligent in what my convictions are.
Yeah, I'm diligent in my convictions and not dying today.
Okay. As
Do
you're
you think we would die in an ambush? What are you, coward?
As you're driving along, you see well up ahead, there is another blast door. This one's wide open though, but it looks like there's a security checkpoint that has been built into it. It is currently unmanned, but you know that it does have typical security checkpoint readers. So if you pass through it, your vehicle will be acknowledged as having passed through it.
So now we have a decision. I can try and see if I can disable the checkpoint so we can pass through unnoticed, or we can go help the civvies and find a way that way.
If we, I'm just saying, we have an advantage, right? Well, we're gonna be surrounded.
We would have
So-
the element of surprise. We would be flanking them. They wouldn't see us coming.
These
Yeah.
jerks seem everywhere.
Right.
The question is, how much of an ally would the scavengers be for us if we run into them later?
The enemy of their enemy.
I mean, they could also just try to kill us.
They could.
They're probably scavengers. They might want our vehicle.
No, we'll deal with them next.
We're here to save them, unless we have to kill them.
Once
I
they're-
don't
We're here
know,
to rescue
man.
you.
It
Never
just
mind,
seems
we're
like a
here
good
to kill you.
opportunity. It seems
So-
a good opportunity to deal with these
You have 3 options.
possible threat in the future.
You could ditch the vehicle, descend down the turbo lift. You could try to hack through the terminal, the security checkpoint, or you can go back and scrap and like fight the beast mode guys as they do the thing there.
I mean, we could definitely develop allies, right? They obviously want something here. We want something. Let's work together with them. This is, I mean, what?
We're not
We're
gonna get
passing
paid
up
for this,
every
are we?
advantage.
Rod, I think the best. How does this? What is the financial gain in this interaction?
Less risk by having others.
Mo says more risk by having more people.
No.
It's true. Once they've identified our vehicle over the comms, if there are more than just those 5 soldiers in these tunnels, they'll know what they're looking for.
More mouths to feed. Less spider soup for Mo.
You're channeling him. Good job.
I don't quite sound like Ray Romano doing like a weird bit, but I did my best.
I'm going to stay out of this decision. I've voiced my opinion. And I'm not much of a scrapper. This you all know. But
Okay, what are we doing? I mean, we all know everybody's positions. We could just do a good old-fashioned vote.
Okay, so Dan,
Right.
your vote is go
Yep.
fight.
I want to fight, and I want to try and incorporate these other individuals
Andy?
to help us.
I would support that.
2 for fight. Quinn.
I think it's best for the mission if we avoid conflict.
So you have 2 other options. What are the options you want to pick?
Oh, my option would be priorities. It's hack,
No,
fight,
just one.
lift.
Just one.
Hack.
Hack.
I think that our vote should be fight or not fight right now, and the not fight we can decide what we're doing later.
Sure. Then Flynn and Vieva. I think Vieva said no fight, right?
I haven't voted yet.
Okay.
Flynn?
So we're going to have Vieva be the deciding vote.
Which means no fight from the twins. No
Fight
fight
from the twins.
from the
I am going to look at Runt and Kane. You two think you can take them?
I'm fairly confident with an ambush, but the more time we waste, the
Drive us that
It
way.
would take all of us.
Fuck. All right. I
Ram
turned the
them.
car around.
Ram them.
Okay, so yeah, you are driving in that direction. The drone's still maintaining, a lookout. What you do watch is that it looks like 4 more of the civilians, as you call them, get knocked down by sunfire. It looks like now that they've kind of taken a point of victory in this, they're kind of moving forward, which means that they're moving inside of the heavily kind of barricaded area, which makes it very impossible for your vehicle to kind of gain access on them. You will need to move up, depart, and then move in after them, if it's your wish to continue with the plan as stated.
That's a big dog.
Why it's so dirty?
he's fucking filthy.
Watch that baby.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, as a crew, we decided to do this, so I'm all in. I'll get out with the other anyone
Okay.
else who's going out. to
Yeah,
shoot.
I'll get out. I have no weapons, but I'll get out, and Mo will stay with the car, I guess.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and focus on who you want to be your kind of 2-point folk. The rest of you will basically be operating and fighting. That's fine, but I want you to have kind of 2-point people for the we're doing a fight. And whoever those 2 people are going to tell me what their plan of attack is, and then what skill they want to use to implement that. So pick your 2 leaders.
It's Kane and Runt, right?
Yeah,
Sounds like-
Seems so, yeah.
It's obviously rain.
I want to
Um,
skulk behind them and get as close as I
No,
can to them.
Don't think of it as skills. I want to know like what you are wanting to do. Just tell me like what you want to do. Don't think of it in skills terms yet.
I want to try and actually sneak up to them while they're distracted I mean, are they leaving the bodies tased?
No.
So they're
Oh,
like
yeah,
throwing
yeah.
the bodies on their shoulder.
No, they're leaving them on the ground. Sorry. Yes, they are leaving
Start
them.
getting the fucking people.
Okay. So your plan is to rescue the people that they have
No,
already.
no, 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 no. I want to attack them while others rescue.
I want to know what you're doing. I don't want like
I'm
a.
gonna attack, but I'm
Okay.
instructing others that maybe aren't so
Got it.
so good at combat to retrieve the stunned
Which
individuals.
skill do you want to use to implement your attack? Now, Skulk is fine. You could. It's a sneak attack. You could use Skulk if you wanted to. You can also use Scrap. Whatever you want to do, based on your description.
I mean, I don't have any points in Skulk, but
So then, Scrappy, Scrap, Scrap, and then Kane. Same question for you.
Tell me about the barricades. How big are they?
So you played Apex Legends.
Yep.
Yeah, just think of like inside of any of those buildings, like there's just random like crates and boxes and
So
stuff.
I'd wanna run up, pick one up, and throw it at the guards.
Perfect. Okay. So you're going to be using way. What is it called?
A
It,
tune.
it would be.
A tune. That's right.
Yeah, it would be a tune. Yeah,
Or scrap, I guess, if you want.
it's all the same.
Okay. So then I would like for you to make your roll. Again, if you want assistance, I would say that Mo could provide it. That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
And if Dan, you want assistance, anybody in the group can provide it. And I'll go ahead and add one stress to Mo. I offered that, so that's me. If he wants to get mad at somebody, that's the person he gets mad at.
Yeah, we'll say I move up the drone a little closer to kind of give some overwatch to give Runt a kind of tactical assessment of
Stress
where
it.
they are to better implement his.
Stress it up. So you both have help, and we are in a controlled standard.
and if I want to stress myself,
Push.
but there's no point, right? Just for effect.
You can push for a dice because you can still have +1 dice, unless you're spending a gambit. Then you can only push for effect. You cannot push for a dice and gambit. You can only do one or the other of those two.
What's the current effect at standard?
Standard effect.
I want to try and take out 2.
Well, you're not
Let's
taking
go
out a
for
number.
priest.
It's the whole
Okay,
fight.
okay. I want to try and take out 1, and then quickly get to another one. So
Well,
I'm gonna go for.
Don't
I'm
think of
gonna-
it
I'm
in
gonna-
numbers. Think of it as in the entire combat. The entire combat's going to resolve in one roll. That's all. That's
Really?
how it's
Oh,
gonna happen.
okay. Well, fuck. Yeah, then I'm gonna go for effect. Yeah, I'll put it for effect.
Okay, cool. And then,
And just also, we do have 2 gambits if you guys.
are you spending a gambit as well, Dan?
Do you guys want to spend a gambit in addition to this?
It's-
We just gained 1.
It's up to you. I think Matt is pushing the gambits,
Yeah, spend the gambit.
and then for you, Andy,
So I'm already getting help, right?
correct?
And should I spend our last gambit?
If you guys both roll 6s, we'll get 2 back. So
Yep.
more dice means more potential for 6s. It
Yep.
also
Yep.
means we can.
So I'll do that.
Okay, so Dan first. Roll.
So controlled.
Controlled.
Limited.
Controlled greater. Great.
Great.
And you'd have 2 bonus dice. Okay, so that's one of your gambits back, and that is a success. And then Andy, go ahead and give me yours.
Nope. I got a 5.
Okay. All right.
Qualified?
Okay. So Runt and Quinn move into position.
Oh,
to-
dude, why did they scramble? I should have like 6 dice or more dice there. Oh, it doesn't matter.
How many
doesn't-
dice do you have for scrap?
I have fucking 3, I think, or
So
2.
roll one more dice. Just roll a d6.
Does it matter?
Just roll a
Yeah,
d6.
Yeah,
It
you can get a
does.
crit.
Take that 6. You can get that.
Wait, Dan, you said you have 2 for scramble, right? And
I
then you got
have-
2 bonus dice. You rolled 4.
Yeah, that's what I was
total.
like. I didn't roll enough dice.
But no, you did.
No, he has 3 for scrap.
Oh, you have 3.
Can you have
I
3?
have
th-
2
you,
bonus
you shouldn't
dice.
have 3 for scrap.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, you're
I
a
think
liar.
the maximum you can have is 2 right now.
I can't
Right.
even get into my character sheet. I
Oh.
gotta exit.
Okay. So
Titties.
So anyways, what happens is Runt and Quinn move into position very quickly, get into position, lock down together. Quinn fires down fire, which causes the group to kind of turn and kind of move towards cover, but that moves them into a perfect flank for Runt, who starts firing into them and knocks out 3 of the 5 remaining, just blasting them down with just solid fire. This is happening all while Quinn is moving into position, and Mo is kind of helping with the attunement and the lifting. And he moves to lift up this crate, but he sees the situation and doesn't understand it. He hesitates. He stops for a second. He's not quite sure what's going to be happening here. The 2 other soldiers kind of turn on him specifically and fire in on him, making him suffer a lesser harm. But he manages to get the situation to resolve. He throws the thing and defeats the last 2. Let's see, lesser harm.
Like a blaster burn.
Yeah, I believe. Hold on a second. I'm going to the right page here. I love when you're trying to search for something in a PDF and it's like, oh, you're looking for the LE?
Oh yeah, and just any word.
Yeah.
33, 34 is levels of harm. You suffer lesser harm.
Yeah, so you just have a lesser harm. It's basically just blaster burn.
Got it.
Because you were hesitant. But yeah, all 5 of them are dashed out. You can see that of the 13 that you kind of saw at the beginning of the fight, of the civilian side, only 5 are still remaining conscious. There are several kind of sprawled out around the battlefield, and there are about 3 of them that are kind of knocked out over close to where you're parked.
We come in peace.
I really hope these guys ain't the night beasts.
You see one of them kind of take to the front. He's a red-skinned individual, kind of like protrusions. He doesn't look too dissimilar from Runt, except that he's about 8 foot tall. Very muscular. I'd say about the same musculature as Runt. And he's holding just a heavy blaster pistol, think like Han Solo. Looks across the field of battle, looks at you.
I saw what they did to one of your friends. I'm sorry.
Who are you?
We're here to help. You can see my medical garb. Do you mind if I go and attend to your wounded?
They are just stunned.
This is true, but I might be able to help. Can I try to sway him to allow me to go address some of
If
the
you are
people who
truly a
stunned?
medical individual, you would know stun keeps someone down for 1 hour. Less if hour. You see a woman kind of approach him, kind of place her hand on his elbow, and whisper something up to him. She appears to be a Mundushan. Again, very feminine. Looks female from a distance. Places their hand on his elbow. And he's then kind of calmed and kind of looks to you all. How do you mean to help?
Well, considering we just... I mean, obviously you would have had them all on your own.
Of course.
Look, we saw
What
what
brings
they
you here?
potentially are doing to your people, and we thought we'd come help, and also see if you might let us by.
We've been trying to survive beneath their sealed off placements, but they keep coming for us. Until we can prove that we are not infected, we have not been allowed access up. But these ones are as bad as the Night Beast, coming to us and taking ours. We fought them.
I believe their aims were to infect you and harvest what grows once you're infected.
Bagrot felt that was true. And looks
Did you
down,
have any...
looks down
Did
to
you s-
the person, and she kind of looks up at him and kind of says something too quiet at distance for you to hear. And then Bagrot kind of and starts walking towards your group. You fight very well, tiny one.
Call me Runt. He spits.
Of course I will. I am Bagrot.
Pleasure, back Runt.
You are not Hesh, correct?
He smiles.
Yeah. And he kind of like growls back at you. Yeah.
Oh, great, guys. We have Klingon mating rituals going on right now.
Are there any other Haroon
in
in
the-
this building or in this ship?
Most have already fallen.
I saw one.
Yes,
How many left?
it is only I.
Seems I've succeeded in my secondary task then. Join me, brother.
I cannot.
I'd reach out my hand.
I cannot. And I would be confused if you are able to go back up to the surface.
We'll find a way.
The Retributors do not allow anyone outside of the bottom holds. Not until you can prove yourself quarantined and not sick.
So, anyway,
With sickness.
In voice comms, I would quietly talk to Vieva and say, "Are we at risk? What if they are infected?"
You're always at risk for any airborne pathogen.
anyway,
However, it seems the Night Beast needs a tendril in order to infect you. So, for that, we're safe.
We must return back to where we were staying. Fortunately, the soldiers were not able to find it. We pushed ourselves away so most of ours would not be discovered.
How many soldiers do you estimate are here?
100.
right, so we're looking for something. Do you guys have any idea where it might, or where,
So 95.
We should grab their armor. The ones that we defeated.
Yeah, it's pretty decent armor. It's not
Well-
too dissimilar from what you're carrying.
I understand, but just for like to disguise ourselves, perhaps we'll see.
The main thing you might want to pick up for later are the stun guns.
yeah, I was going to ask about grabbing at least one of them for myself since I haven't jack squat on me.
There's 5 of them, so yeah, you can throw them all on the bus and like have them for later too.
But yeah, should we ask these guys if they have any idea of what we're looking for, where it might be? Try to remember, what are we looking for? I don't have it. in my
You know what
notes.
level it's on. It's now 4 floors below you. So basically, it's the 6th floor below the plates, and you are on the 2nd floor below the plates. So
And it's a data core that we're looking for.
You're looking for a data
I would-
core.
If you say that over comms to ask them, I'd say I don't think we should let them know what our business is exactly, just that we're trying to get down.
Yeah. Maybe they'll know a fast way down.
Well, fast way down is taking the facelift, but you know,
I mean, doesn't
bode well.
does Chris have any suggestions about this?
Chris isn't present.
Chris isn't present.
Chris didn't come with you.
Yeah, Chris is, since we offered, he's like, fine, I'll pay you, but I don't have to worry about anything then.
Chris is the only person or only entity on your ship right now.
Chris
For
is a smart one.
For all you know, your ship could be gone. Like you could have fucking just blasted off, got out of here.
We left the other Urbot there. What's his
Oh,
name?
yeah,
Yeah, Crunch.
Crunch. Thank you.
And I've yet to determine if Sprocket came with us.
Sprocket did
Oh.
not.
Alright.
Sprocket is not crazy. That
My
said,
loadout sheet says it's not necessarily the case.
that
I
said,
have the drone, I don't need Sprocket.
that said, Bagrot looks to Runt and says, "We will return to ours. You slayed them by right. Their stuff is yours. But do they have communicators?"
I'd rip one off their body and toss it to them.
This will be invaluable to us. You might want to use it for yourself to check their movements.
Appreciate it. Any way I can communicate with you in the future if it might strategically benefit both of us, such as this situation?
we will not be able to do much to assist you. He looks back to the others, the ones that are holding like kind of like just
Yeah.
the regular blasters, and like it looks like a squad of like Flynn's and Vievas. Like,
Yeah. No.
Hey, Ron, ask him if he knows a way down.
Do you know a faster way down, or a quicker way to travel, or maybe back roads, back channels?
turbo lift's best way.
Okay.
That won't work. Do you know where we can drive our truck?
What about a different route? We have a vehicle that we don't want to leave.
The only way to get down from here is beyond the 2 checkpoints. He gestures the way that you came, and then he gestures the way that is further back beyond the barrels and boxes that he was kind of fighting in. Both ways, checkpoints. They have them. They are blocking off the main descent down. It seems that they have interests that way. But the turbolift access is open. Free. Easy to climb.
Guess we're going to be going on foot then. I got an idea, guys. Let's take up some of their armor. Let's go in quiet. Right?
So,
Well, if the armor will fit all of us.
if you remember, infiltration was the method that you chose here. So, like, that is definitely, like, the way that would be best. So, if you were to take up their armor and dress up as them and then drive a car through a checkpoint.
Hey, we've done this before in another game.
We have.
Hopefully it goes.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll wait on the jet skis out in the water.
All right.
Love it. You got my drugs?
Safe again.
Oh, he does have
Wait
drugs.
a second. Where's my hot tub? Damn it!
Hold on, I gotta
I
do
believe I'm the hacker this time around. Where's my hot tub?
But yeah, that's a possibility. Or infiltration could just be meaning going a stealthy way and not being observed. And it does sound like the turbolift is that.
I'm putting on the armor.
Is there any way for us to cover Mo?
No.
There's the issue.
You have 5 suits of armor, and Mo can
Right.
just hide in the truck.
Throw a tarp over him. I mean, he smells like a beast anyway, right? Let's just say we found something upstairs. We're gonna throw it into the night beast. Well, we don't want
No.
to say anything though, right?
If we're doing this whole uniform thing, though, we should be make sure we don't have anything besides stun blasters on us that we can't conceal. Otherwise, we might stick out like a sore thumb and ruin
I mean,
the charade.
did those other guys have stun guns, or they have regular weapons?
Only stun guns.
Okay, we need the stun guns.
I mean, stun gun's going to be the only weapon I'm going to have anyway. So
All
I
right.
don't think any weapons will really do us much good against the night beast, from what we gather.
Well, I'll leave the naked corpses. Take the armor back to the vehicle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just something you'd want to take into account. So this would be something that Flynn, Vieva, and Kane would pick up on. But as you pull the uniforms off of them and throw the bodies to the side, you'd notice that they have imprint markings on their right shoulder blade, and they all basically look the same physically. You would note that is hegemonic soldiers who are basically biologically conditioned and biologically created to serve. So these appear to be the standard
Clone.
hegemonic kind of clone troopers.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be the pack.
They're not clones actually. There is variables inside the genome. They're not exact identical individuals. Because diversity is actually very key for a military. It's just that they are built in such a way that it's the top tier physical specimen.
That's why none of the stormtroopers can hit anything.
That's why none of the stormtroopers can hit anything, because they're all
inbred.
they're all inbred shit. Clones suck. And that's why the bad
But
bat. and that's why the
Obi-Wan
Bad
always
Batch
said
rocks.
that
Bad Batch.
only stormtroopers are this precise.
Only stormtroopers are this precise at shooting your aunt and uncle.
And nothing else.
I'm pretty sure that's all they ever hit.
So I rolled. Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter. We passed it.
The 6?
Yeah, when I rolled the scramble, I only have one pip. So
You only had 1 pip?
for a scramble, that's why I had to roll the additional d6 for scrap. I was explaining to Tim because I
Oh,
couldn't look at my character sheet. I was like, I don't know what my scramble pips are.
got it.
Wait, but if you have 1 pip for scramble, then and you had 2 bonus dice, you've only had 3 numbers.
I rolled scrap. It has 2. I have 2 additional dice.
I don't
Plus,
care anymore.
it doesn't matter.
We'll
Yeah, who the
move it.
fuck cares?
We're
I don't
moving on.
know. I don't know why it rolled that. I just
don't care.
pushed the buttons.
I
It
don't
doesn't
care.
matter. I'm trying to understand it because I'm new at this. Let's go.
So, yeah, if you are going back that way, is it your intent to try and move past the checkpoint in that kind of gear, or are you wanting to utilize the turbo lift?
Party.
Is there any way we can see if there's any kind of like transponder or any kind of like key card thing on the suits themselves that would allow us to walk through?
Okay, yeah, you would note that they do have kind of allocator, so basically wherever you are, they would know where the suit is.
Could just potentially walk through the checkpoint and be just fine. Or, you know, they could have a chip embedded in them and that's what does it, and then it sets off the alarms and Bob's your
Well.
uncle.
I would say that Kane would know that that's not the case.
That's not the case.
I love improvising. So
So we suit up, we go through the checkpoint.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Okay.
I love it when a plan comes together.
If you all gear up and get back in the vehicle and start heading back that way, you would note that the checkpoint still doesn't have any physical bodies present at it. And if you want to drive through it, you can.
Hold on to your butts.
I don't love this plan. Holds up his hands that have extra fingers on them, and then looks at Mo, who's also an alien, and then looks at Runt, who's also an alien.
I think if we do this, we would do it on foot because we can see through the checkpoint, right?
Yeah.
And we don't see anyone on the other side, right?
Nobody.
So the suits would just give us an element of surprise if we run into them.
it doesn't hurt to wear the armor.
So wait, are
Well-
we driving through or are we taking the lift? I think
We're
we're
driving.
taking the armor either way. It's just which way are we going?
Yeah, so you basically suit up in the armor, and then you're driving up to the checkpoint. And then you not too far back is the turbo lift if you want to go with that plan. So just let me know if you're driving through it or not.
I mean, if you want, we could always try still hacking the thing.
Also an option.
How about you hack one of these communicators and see if we can maybe rig it to help us reposition and sneak, like my comrade. That's a great idea on his part.
You shouldn't need to hack it. It's a communicator that's tuned to their channels.
Correct.
When they
We'll
talk,
hear
we hear.
anything they say across the channel.
So I would
So
I would assume you could implant those in, like just kind of turn those on and listen to what's going on. And if you do, you would hear that it seems like they are 50% processed through the most recent specimen. Still waiting for specimens to be brought up from the pit. ETA 2 hours. Patrol on second layer. Please respond.
That's us.
Well, one of us respond.
I don't know what they sound like. I didn't. Wait, can I get a rough approximation of what the voices were? Did they talk at all?
Again, when they were talking in the helmets and with like the comms there, all you heard was combine. Now that you're in the helmet, you're hearing the actual chatter.
I would respond. Target stunned. ETA 2 hours.
Thank you. Patrol on 6. Patrol on 6, please respond.
Night beast.
Patrol on level 2. Go ahead and clear to descent. Make your way to the 6th floor. Check on patrol.
Meet you at checkpoint. Or not meet you at checkpoint, but approaching checkpoint.
Sounds good. Twoosh, Do you guys?
I'd like you to make a deception roll for that one,
Do you?
Dan.
Do you? No.
Not D&D.
I have
I know.
command.
I'm just making
no.
a joke. I'm
So-
just making a joke.
Hold on. Okay. Just making a luck roll. It wasn't a 1. So he kind of has a hesitation, but it's like, it's just in a firefight. He's probably just slightly deterred, doesn't know what he's doing. Do you drive
You
to the
got-
checkpoint?
I'm not driving.
Well, yeah, I think he's asking us in general, do we drive through the checkpoint? But
Only
Do we
one of
want-
us is at the wheel.
yeah. I know, but we never decided if we want to hack the thing. So I'm just looking at Quinn for a second to see if he gives me a response, or if we're just driving through this shit.
I mean, it seems like they're expecting us to go through.
All right,
The
I
vehicle itself
I-
is the issue.
I just put my foot on the gas basically as soon as he says that.
Such a rush.
Okay. And as you pass through, you see that the lights kind of flare green, and you pass through just fine.
A
As,
piece of cake.
as you're going through,
This time.
you make your way down a little bit. And you come to a point where there is a descent. You see 2 individuals kind of standing there at the passageway, wearing the black armor. One of them raises their hand up. The other one kind of has the gun kind of trained on you. He looks over at you, and kind of moves over to like the driver's side. You're wearing the armor, right?
Yeah,
Mo
of
kind
course.
whoop, and kind of slides underneath the
We
passenger
put a
side.
tarp over him.
Yeah, he just hides.
You just see his eyes sticking out, looking around.
Yeah. The soldier kind of looks up at you and he says, "Hey, Bravarius Patrol, where'd you get the repulsor sled? Is that over there in that side of 2?
Gavin just had it.
Hell of a find. Should make it easier for you to move on and around. You have clearance to go down to 6.
Oh, Roger.
Roger.
Driving. Wait, who's Roger?
All right.
Your father.
You make your way down. You don't see really much in the way of access to 3, 4, and 5. It looks like they have been blocked off with checkpoints. You see about 6 of the armed soldiers at each of those like kind of defense points. They have amplified shielding, and then they have massive like Gatling cannons kind of pointed outwards. And it looks like they are basically just kind of set up in a defensive posture at those levels. The same is true at 6. But what you see at 6 is there's only 2 of the guards. Looks like 4 of them have kind of patrolled off. One of them sees you kind of approaching, nods, and they do something very quickly with the amplified shields, which opens it and allows you access into the drive passageway. At this point, check your kind of systems, and you see that there is a marker, like an indicator now, that allows you to kind of find out exactly where the data core is. You knew exactly what floor it was on, now you know exactly where it's at. And it is right across the hallway from the turbo lift. So if you just dropped down, and you would have been there. But you head on over in that direction. The signs of conflict are way more noted here, and it looks like a lot of these glass tubes that you saw up on first floor are kind of laying about, emptied of contents, but it looks like they are kind of like coated with kind of biomaterial, like they had something in them before. You finally make it to where the turbo lift is located, turbo lift shaft, and you also see that there is the secure door that I mentioned. It seems that the signal for the data core is on the other side of this door.
All right. So which one of us is the best door opener?
Everybody turns
have
and
to
looks
ask.
at Quinn.
I'm insulted. I'll take out my fine hacking rig and try and jimmy this door open.
Okay, go ahead and make a hack roll.
All right. Oh gosh. what's the positioning?
Sorry, thank you. So again, I did it again. I'm still in other role-playing games mode. So you are trying to jimmy the door open. Hack is the type of skill you want to utilize. I am then determining that it is a controlled situation, and it is a standard effect.
Would it insult Quinn's pride if I offered to help?
I'll take all the help I can get. I don't want to screw this up.
That's fine. I'll burn a stress and pull out my own hacking tools and see if I can't do anything to help.
Okay. As you guys are getting ready to do that, go ahead and make your roll, Tim. Runt and everyone on the comms channels hears Bravo Areas Patrol, just to ensure, about 2 clicks out from Turbolift positioning. That's where Patrol Cerebus disappeared.
Roger, Roger.
I'm also gonna
Right.
take 2 stress, John, to get an extra bonus dice. So I have 2.
Okay.
Ooh, failure. At least I didn't roll a 1.
One second.
They
Alright.
got that they got that outdated encryption system. I didn't bother to learn.
Okay. So as you kind of start messing with the access port, a massive metal kind of chambering kind of slots over where you're hacking and blocks your access from that point. You know you could reattempt to secure or open this lock if you take a different positioning, but you know that the positioning that you would take would be at a risky point instead of controlled.
Looking at it now, do I see if there's any way to just deactivate like the servos for the door just to like basically
Well,
make it a useless piece of metal?
that was the kind of just access port that you were trying to open there. The
Okay.
next option is to try and kind of create a situation where you're effectively knocking the hinges off. That's why it's a risky situation versus controlled.
Right. Do I think if I were to take out some of my tools, I might be able to use rig to attempt this?
You can use whatever skill you want. You could use it for that. So you are now, instead of trying to kind of like oscillate through the door, you're now trying to basically break the door. So this is a risky situation, and it would be a limited effect. So that's the new role that you'd be going with, based on what you decided you wanted to do, and it being a rig skill.
Pushing myself for standard.
You can get help.
And I'm gonna assist him again.
Okay.
And
So
you
that's
guys
another
mind if I use that gambit on this?
You've been taking stress for each time you help, right?
Yeah, I'm up to
Yep.
5 now.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's just
use-
say I
I'd
can't
say
take
use a
any more
gambit.
stress.
And do you want a devil's bargain?
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Go all in.
Alright, what's my devil? Do you get to hear the devil's bargain before you accept it, or do I just have to say yes and then you tell me afterward?
No, yeah. So, I guess I do get to tell you. So, you would know that, in taking this devil's bargain, I would say that you know that there's a very, very high chance of harm being dealt to you and your helper.
Gotta get in. I need those answers. I take it.
Basically, you're trying to like blow out kind of like a hydraulic system, and that's gonna cause some issue.
I mean, a 5 is a partial success, right?
That's a qualified success.
Yeah. Qualification is you get hurt.
Okay.
I'm so stressed right now.
Okay. So the two of you kind of start moving around, operating kind of popping open kind of paneling, getting into the hydraulic system around the outside that causes the doors to move. And you're basically just wanting to cause that to no longer be an issue and open the doors. Yeah, you manage it. What ends up happening is doing so causes you both basically detonate the hydraulic system, and you would suffer 1 harm apiece. So that's Vieva and Quinn. And I would say with a limited 5, sorry, a desperate. No, it's limited. Limited is the result. I would say, Quinn, you go ahead and take 1 more point of harm.
So it went from standard to limited because it was a 5.
No. So it started off as a risky limited was the roll.
And I pushed myself for effect.
Oh, you pushed yourself for effect. I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
I see that there. Okay, great.
I took all the things.
Okay, so then what happens is you both take a point of harm for the devil's bargain. You take a point of harm for the 5. You suffer an additional harm because you're the one kind of in the blast zone, and the door opens. It opens halfway, wide enough for you to open or get through.
What kind of harm would I call this? Like burns or concussion?
And this is.
Does our armor protect us from any of that harm?
No, this is
No,
getting through that.
Okay.
Well, guys, I now have less effect on all my rolls.
Nice.
I was taking into account that you were wearing armor. It would have
Because you have 2 harm?
It would have killed Kane if he was helping.
I have 2 level 1 harm, so it's full, so I get less effect.
Got it.
Okay. Inside, you see what appears to be like a computer lab. In the center of it is kind of this strange kind of column. The column has a massive black glass orb, and you see a red dot kind of moving around inside of that big glass orb. And as the door opens, you see the orb, like red dot, kind of move in that position like it was an iris, kind of looking at the door. And as the first person steps in, you hear a voice say, "Hello."
Chris Santos.
Okay. Is there a reply?
He wants to be, well, I can't sing the song because copyrights and all that, but reunited with you because it'll feel so good.
Simply pull my core processor from the terminal below.
Roger. And I go and...
I will inform you as you're moving your hands towards it.
Uh-huh.
The second that you do, all power on the levels 33 below will be offline.
And that
Better run.
We better run for it?
I don't know what that means for you. I'm just telling you that all levels 33 and below, and you're not sure what that means, but attentive folks would be able to kind of look outside at the turbo lift, and you would see that you are currently on 31. So 2 floors above you, and all the floors below you are going to be shut off when you pull this core.
So that means we can't get back up.
I mean, we can get back up. We just need to drive. We can't take the turbo lift.
Couldn't take the turbo lift in the first place.
We would have to leave the truck here and just ascend it, climb it up.
No. You guys aren't paying attention. 2 floors above the floor that you're currently on, which is 6 floors below where you started. So it'll be this floor, 2 floors above it, and all the floors below that. You would be able to ascend up just fine, driving, and then get to the turbo lift. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that all the power will be shut off at 33 down.
Yeah, what he's saying is people will notice if suddenly the power goes out.
It's their problem.
What happened to Group Cerberus? I asked the robot, the AI.
I do not understand what you mean.
Thank you.
Give any information about the inhabitants that are currently in this area complex?
Most are deceased. Some are at limited capacity. Respiratory functions are confusing. Unknown individuals have descended to the spire, to this location. Some are in a similar state to present representatives of this section of the spire.
Right. How far from us are they right now?
20 meters.
Guys, we gotta go. And
19 meters.
I pull the cord and I say, run. Start
18.
making noise. Go, 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 go.
Running.
Yeah, I'd like
running.
to say, John, I've just been sitting in the car this whole time, looking around, waiting.
Keeping it hot.
Yeah. I'm between Night Beast and Random Patrol. I don't want to stay here.
Okay.
All right. Start shooting. Start making noise.
I would
like
go
you
over
ran
voice
the night
comms.
beast.
Team Cerberus. And I would just kind of intermittently cut out. Under attack.
You can just hold
And
the
then-
button down.
Fuck it.
We're all fine here. We're fine. Thank you. How are you?
Roll a d6, Dan.
What?
They buy it. They don't call you out on your bullshit like I did. And they say, return back if possible. Please regroup at the power's out. You hear over a different channel, and then you start hearing a lot of comms chatter between lots of individuals, and then you hear a screaming kind of sound coming from one of the units. You're driving, right?
Oh
Clint?
yeah.
Okay. You drive, you see that the group that's there kind of has the doors still open. You move through, they immediately shut it out, and they kind of like look like they're prepared for defense. As you start driving upwards, you can see that on floor 5, the one directly above where you were at, it looks like there's massive fire happening from those turrets I had mentioned. It looks like you can see like groupings of these weird kind of beasts kind of coming towards it. It seems that the darkness in this area has emboldened them, has made them move faster, has made them stronger. And you're not paying attention to it for very long because your nightmares from your flashbacks are literally right there. Maybe
Must go faster. Must go faster. I'm a leaf on the wind. No, I don't want to say that line.
you make it up into normal territory. You hear comms chatter. It doesn't sound like anyone's trying to talk to anyone in specific. It sounds like orders are being barked from someone whose voice very much sounds distinct. It doesn't sound so familiar to anybody, but it sounds distinct. Like this person, if you heard their voice again, you would recognize it. And it seems that everyone who's referring to that voice is calling them overseer. Other than that, you make your way up. You make it to the turbo lift. Very quickly perform a recall check to bring the turbo lift back down. This was already planned for. It takes a couple of seconds, more seconds than you'd want it to, but you drive the vehicle onto the turbo lift and ascend back up into the normal area. Go ahead and roll another d6 for the luck check.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And when you pop back up, Flynn, you're not an idiot. You definitely realize that a couple of folks of a specific law enforcement style nature do watch as you kind of exit out of the terminal. It doesn't look like they, try to stop you or anything. It just looks like you are noticed of having come out of the turbo lift.
But he's still wearing
Right.
his his black.
Oh, I'm
forces,
wearing.
like,
I didn't take any
that.
of my shit off.
Correct. You
Yeah.
are still wearing hegemonic kind of attire. That's right.
Yeah. But they see through it because they have X-ray glasses.
No, that's not it at all. I think for your kind of smuggler kind of pirate kind of mentality is the car is hot now.
Yeah, the car is hot. I was thinking we need to ditch it before we get back to the ship.
You tell me what's happening, but mission accomplished basically.
I mean, I was figuring what we'd do is we just drive to somewhere somewhat, I don't know, somewhere normal. Just ditch the car and ditch the armor. Uh, unless we want to keep it for some reason. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Not if we got saw or seen. So not if we seen saw. Not if they noticed
They
us.
spotted us.
Sentences are hard.
I'd keep the stun blasters though.
Yeah,
That's
I'd say
useful.
keep
Yeah,
the stun
definitely.
blasters.
I mean,
Okay. So you basically drop off the beast mode gear, with the exception of the stun blasters, and you're dumping the vehicle as well.
Yeah, it's hot.
How
No
are you?
reason to keep it.
Tell me how you're dumping the vehicle. What's the plan there?
I mean, I assume there are just places like with other cars or vehicles around.
Yeah. You could also just drive it right off the spire.
I mean, we could drive it right off the spire, but I feel like that's slightly more noticeable.
Why don't
than
we
just-
sell it?
I mean, we could sell it too,
Selling it creates a
but
purchase.
yeah,
which
the
means
thing
they
is-
can track it back to you.
the thing is, if we sell it, there's more paperwork following us around. That's why I was thinking just literally ditch it.
Okay.
I mean, somebody can forge some documents,
If you want to take a
Wait,
shot.
right?
Real quick.
I mean, come on, we're pirates. Does nobody know how to forge any documents?
We bought the van. There is paperwork tracing us to the van. If we ditch it, they find it, they run the tags, they figure out who bought the van.
I guess, yeah.
We drive it off the spire, it possibly blows up when it lands. There's no van anymore.
All right, fine. We'll drive it off the spire. That works.
Okay, so Flynn has to stay in it all the way down.
Yeah.
Goodbye, world.
You fell for my trap. No, so you drive it off this fire. It goes unnoticed. I mean, most people aren't really paying attention to it, and yeah, it's no big deal. It actually moves down and slams through the plates, and ends up in the forest below. And then you head to the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody stops you. You make it into your docking bay or your docking pad, no problem. And as you board the ship, you're met. You know where he is. Chris is inside of the meeting room where you left him.
I walk up to the meeting room with the others in tow, I'm assuming. If not, fine. But I hold out the data core and I say, "Can't wait to have a nice long conversation with you, Chris. Here you go."
Takes the core. Looks at it. Good. Sets it down on the table, and tosses a couple of shards out onto the table. 4 of them, to be precise. Ask away.
So, we're done the mission, right?
Mission accomplished. It would seem.
This is kind of getting into like downtime, what happened afterwards. Like talking to him would be part of me feeding my vice or artifact.
Great. Yeah, count that as that. But yeah, the job's over. We're out of the job time. We can call ourselves in, downtime mode. That's fine.
All right, and then well, I'll let. The idea is too is I would want a one-on-one with him because I'm trying not to do this whole Earth.
No one
session
else followed
around
you.
people. Okay, cool. So tell me more about just the artifacts. It's really ever since I was a kid. It's an itch that I've been needing to scratch. Also, can you tell me anything about this thing as I like pull out my childhood artifact that I had stumbled upon that I keep around my neck?
And do you have a description for that or no?
It would be
Just like a pendant?
yeah, just kind of like a pendant. Like I found it floating, and I was able to like tie some string through it. Well, for me, it'd probably be electrical cord or whatever, and I just keep it around my neck as a necklace of sorts.
Asks to see it.
Certainly.
Looks at it. It is, a round kind of, small little disc with kind of flanges on the side of it. Looks like there's kind of like a red burnishing to it. Some strange markings on it. The Urbot Chris kind of looks at this in his hand. Where did you get this?
Back in my home world,
I
in
believe
another system.
that this was once a cap or container lid to a ambrosial liquid that the people drank.
Really? I've been carrying a lid around me this whole time?
I believe so. These markings here seem to designate that being the case. You said it floated?
Yeah, it was floating I had to solve a puzzle to unlock that thing just kind of floating in stasis.
Floating in stasis?
That's why I wanted to touch it. It looked interesting.
By who? Do you know? It was in an Earth site?
Yeah, those are ruins that I used to play in.
Very strange that they would have something like this. And, hands it back to you. So, I mean, you can take that for him being correct, or you can take that for him being incorrect. But it's kind of like, a round kind of, thing that you can kind of slip. It's almost like a seal or like a gasket, kind of. Like it's like a round kind of device there. But you're not sure he was 100%. Like, you're not sure if he was telling, the truth there. Obviously, he didn't know everything about it, and he was confused by why they would. He thinks it's one thing, but why would someone put something like that in a stasis container?
Right, his initial things were kind of thrown into doubt maybe a little by the situations in which I found it.
Correct. And
Maybe I found a glorified trash can.
And he says, "I apologize. I really don't know why that would be the case."
Interesting. Well, where do you know of any locations of other sites in this system that are that I could maybe investigate?
Yeah, there's a site not too far from here.
Where at?
And I believe it was discussed already.
Oh,
The place where the archivists' allies were.
right.
Yeah. The strange beasts that they fought. Not night beasts, but beasts.
And how does one go about understanding the Earth language? Do you have a primer of sorts to help learn the
It's hard.
dictionary?
It's hard to translate, but there's informational text. Hold on one second. I can try and help you with that. Places his hand on your kind of console, and kind of like eyes kind of twitching in his head. If you have a scanner reader inside of the ship, your ship should now be able to translate most language.
Oh, thank you. Very kind.
Do you do a quick kind of check on what the cap says?
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on what you can read, it says COCA hyphen.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Classic. Love it.
Huh.
That's worth a
Makes
lot.
me wonder if it was solving the puzzle more than touching this that had that effect.
I couldn't say for sure. I do know that some artifacts or relics of the would be considered artifacts or relics of sentimental importance to their people. The were a very strange people. They were the progenitors of the core worlds. They came from a long since dead world called Urt. But they were the ones who created my kind. And I believe they were the ones who you descend from.
Huh. So I got some air in me.
I suppose so. Most humans would probably come from either them or the colony worlds.
And I guess I have some I guess, studying to do, or artifacts to find in the cipher. But last thing, do you have any knowledge of old style maps from back in the day, from many iterations?
Puts hand up, places it onto the console. Eyes gonna do the flickering thing. I was very intimately familiar with this system, which I believe now is called the Dracian system, but before was known as Helbrecht. I've given you the information as to what the found important here. My knowledge is not intimate, unfortunately. As I've mentioned, a lot of my cycles have caused me to be rusty. A term I'm not happy to use, but I can't think of a better one. On the knowledge.
And Chris, what are you gonna do from here?
I plan to remain here in Retributor Gold.
Do you have a mission that you have to serve, or just because you got nothing better to do?
I have more study that needs to be dealt with. I will rebuild a new laboratory on a much higher level of the spire, and reestablish my data core. From there, I will continue my research.
If you ever need help with anything, give us a shout.
Of course. I am not sure you'd be much aid, but if I can think of a necessary use for a engineer, or a ragtag group of mercenaries, I will give you a call.
Delightful.
The cap in question, yeah, it's definitely a mystery still. And yeah, you've got a couple of notations in your maps, and this is something you might want to go and kind of like discuss with Flynn. But before that happens, you were kind of spending some time going through that and also cycling through like translations for languages and stuff, going back to some old stuff that you remember kind of jotting down in books where you saw language, checking out like the language that was written on the name of that ship I can't remember off the top of my head.
Neither can I.
Yeah, I know. I have it somewhere here in my notes. I'll have to find that. What was it? It was... I'll find it later. But, yeah, that. But there's plenty of stuff to do. If you want to go ahead and downtime... You want to use your one downtime action... Wait, you get two, right? 2 downtime actions?
Yeah, since we don't have ship repairs.
Yep.
So, what is it? Bonus dice? I just say 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is, for some of us, do we need to take some time to heal?
Yeah, that would be
I
a
do.
downtime action.
Yeah, that's why I'm suggesting it, because I think Tim took some damage.
Yeah, I need it.
Well, one of you go ahead and roll a d6.
I got it. 2.
Okay. Mo starts eating spider soup.
All right, Mo.
There.
Can we talk about our downtime activities, or are we?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kane would want to visit Vieva to have his blaster burn attended to, and then he would want to engage in some prayer.
Yeah, that's
sort of
stone.
maybe thinking about what happened with the shadow of the way that he felt on the planet.
Well,
and in doing so, he's going to engage in his vice of faith.
are you leaving the
basically.
planet, or are you doing your downtime on the planet? Because there's ways for you to indulge vices on the planet, not so much just off in space.
I mean, I assume that we were in the ship.
We're in
You-
the
you-
ship, but we didn't leave.
Yeah, it hasn't taken off yet.
Okay.
You can do that
Um,
meditation at the shrine
Harem ladies.
and focus on the shadow there.
Sure, I could do that.
Okay.
So I would sort of think about that as like engaging in my vice of faith,
Got it.
basically.
So yeah, go
And
ahead.
How many stress does that take off? One or two?
You roll a d6. If you only have 1 or 2 stress, you probably
No,
don't want to
I-
indulge.
I have 4 stress.
Then you roll a d6, and if you roll too high, you're going to overindulge.
Let's find out. We rolled a 2.
So you remove
Nice.
2. And
All right.
Dan,
I actually just need to train. I'm really not that stressed. Like,
what do you got? Like 2?
I mean, I guess if I didn't do anything last game, I'd have 4, right? Because I had 2, and you have to indulge to lose stress, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I
if
mean,
you
it's
roll,
not that.
if you roll over the stress that you have, you overindulge, which means you just kind of disappear for a while.
I kind of want to train. So if I go and I start training again, like in the ship for scrapping,
Okay.
I only need 2 more prowess. I rolled a crit, or rolled a 6. How does training skills work in this?
So you're talking about experience and training, 2 different things.
Okay. My prowess is currently at 4 pips. Like,
Okay. So training is a downtime activity. It's the same thing actually. When you train, you get 1 XP in that playbook. So you're training prowess. So you get 1 pip for a training. You can only train prowess once per downtime. So you can't double do that. You get another downtime activity, which I assume is going to be healing yourself. Did you take any damage? No.
no.
Just you might as well and go for the stress, indulge your vice,
Okay.
because there's nothing else to do really. And you'd roll a d6. If you get a 1, 2, 3, or 4, then you'll just remove that many.
Do I not get, for that 1 success that I did, I don't get a point,
It's got to be
correct?
desperate.
Desperate.
Has to be desperate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'll train. But I'll train second to, like, I'm going to go indulge then.
Okay,
If I can
yeah.
do 2, I'll indulge first.
So go ahead and click on your vice
Looking at
dice.
some women. I'm not going to use any bonus dice from indulge, so just submit.
Cool. So you'll remove 3 of your stress. So you have 1 left. And Retributor Gold is surprisingly easy to pick up women.
With my Haroon women.
There are no Haroon really that are out and about of the female gender. There are a couple of males, but most of them don't look like they're like full-on warriors. They look like they were like squarely types to possibly stronger Haroon that have long since left.
Gotcha. Nope. Just whatever then.
Okay. So that's Dan, Tim, and Andy. So Zach and Matt.
If you have an idea of what you do, what you want to do, Zach, I'm still looking something up.
Yeah, I'm going to spend some time recovering as well, getting rid of all of my lesser harm that Tim gave me. I mean, I took during the course of the mission.
And
I am also going to I don't know, I want to get a playbook advancement, so my thought
Train.
is like spending why is it a strain?
train, TR.
Oh yeah, train with more doctoring.
Okay.
So I imagine like what I'm doing is probably studying the beast mode
But-
in my lab. or
Yeah. So
whatever.
what is study under? Like, what's the playbook it's under?
I'm going for a playbook advancement, like
Yeah.
another notch on my my total
Study is
playbook.
under
Study is
insight.
under insight.
Insight would be what you're increasing.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm getting a playbook advancement. Like, I can get
No,
a
no, no.
notch towards one of my... I can choose either
You
one
have
of my
to roll
skills
a desperate roll.
or a playbook advancement. Like,
No, you're right, you're right.
A new skill.
You're
so
right.
I'm trying to get one of my new skills.
Playbook tracks go up. Yeah, I got it.
So I want a playbook track skill advancement.
Got it.
So I'm just like playing in the medical bay, doing some, you know,
Are you
doctory
studying
stuff.
anything specific?
I am curious about the beast mode pills that we got, but I don't know if I need to do something separate.
No, there's
to
no rules
invest.
for it. I mean, you could basically
Yeah.
be two birds, one stoning it.
That's
fine.
exactly what I'm doing then, is like I want to get a playbook advancement and get better at being a doctor by studying the new beast mode pills that we got.
You very quickly calculate exactly what the temperature that the container is holding these things in. You calibrate your systems to basically create a environment where you can place the pills into that environment and put them into that environment, allowing you to handle, test, and manipulate the pills themselves. Slot out 49 of them to the side. You take one and you pop it and open it up. Inside you find the material, micro-analyzing, checking, and basically scoping out the material. The material is in fact biological. It does appear to be actually living material. From what you can tell, it appears to be some very, very hard to kind of analyze substance that is a very strange Xenos life form and normal biological material that has been combined. The reason why it's green is because of the biological mass. The weird black strains inside appear to be this other Xenos material. The Xenos material at this stage is inert. It appears that whatever this creature is, this black tendrily creature, you're not able to identify much about it other than like what it looks like in a micro kind of designation. You can't really tell much about it in this stage. But you can see what it's done to the biological mass, the green substance. And basically it's turned it into a superconductor for biological functioning. If the pill was imbibed, you're pretty certain that whoever imbibed it would basically be accelerated. It serves as a stimulant, a very powerful stimulant. It seems whoever's created the drug has done well by it, but what you do note in your study is one pill is probably going to be fine. Sure. There's definitely an addictive nature to this, being someone who has an understanding of how that kind of thing works. And you're pretty sure that if you take a second pill, or even just slightly off the dose, and overcharge it, you have no idea what that would do other than absolutely accelerate a person to insane levels. Not in a good way.
Understood.
But yeah, I would say that one of the 49 have been consumed. For mechanical...
I marked it.
Okay. For mechanical purposes, if someone takes one of the pills, there is a chance that they can become addicted to the substance. But for a 24-hour period in-game, so effectively for one job or so, any prowess checks that are made are +1 dice.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do that.
I need to stop taking Tylenol. Hooked.
Need more ibuprofen.
Was that both of Zach's downtime activities?
I also healed.
Oh, gotcha. I missed the healing thing. Okay, so I'm going to do, for my choices, one of them is I'm going to start working on a long-term project.
Okay.
And I'm going to, just so that you know, like, this is a long-term project, trying to keep it on the down low of trying to, I know who it was that did kill my dad, I'm going to try to figure out a way to take him out.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So I would say for that, there are some contacts on Cruciatu that you can kind of get some, kind of link ups and some kind of threads. But I would say at this stage, you basically have like the beginnings of a quilt, but it's very much just a big old pile of string.
right. That's fine. And then the other thing is, I still have a decent amount of stress, so I'm going to try to indulge my vice.
Okay. There are some
So-
fighting pits here, so
Yep. 2. That's actually okay.
all right.
Or for my second free downtime, I was gonna get docked up. And
Okay.
try and heal some of my wound.
So Chris would leave with the data core and enter into Cruciatu. It seems that he, with the creds that he was kind of left over, is capable of purchasing himself a place up here near the docking bays, or docking pads. And you have a connection here now, Chris, the Urbod, at Retributor Gold on Cruciatu. That said, there really isn't much in the way of jobs here in Retributor Gold. It's kind of a self-focused kind of town, kind of boring. Do you want to leave Cruciatu, or do you want to go somewhere else on Cruciatu?
Well, there was also the what are they called?
Or
The archaeology site. Yeah,
Correct.
the Ur site. So I don't know if we had mentioned visiting that. That had the like Komodo dragon-like things, right? Yeah, so we do have that as an option for the architect as a sort of job.
Yep, the archivist rather.
Archivist, right? Sorry.
Yep. You can do that. There's other planets in the system. There's other affairs that could be handled. Absolutely up to you guys. Just think on that for a little while. Or if there's more you want to do in Retributor Gold, or anywhere else that you've been so far in Cruciatu, just let me know. Table's yours.
Well, quick question for the harm. Do I have to roll anything, or I just knock off one of them, or both of them?
You have a lesser harm?
I have 2 lesser.
I think you get rid of all lesser harm. Once it becomes a big harm, that's when it's harder to do.
Okay, cool. And then quick question on our ship, it lists like for our creds, like it has up to 8 regular and then 4 in the vault, but we have 12 total. Does that mean we have to spend creds because we don't have room for it?
You need to shove them in the vault. You need to stockpile some, so you can have 8 normal, right?
No. It's like 4 and 4.
Oh,
Right. So we have 4 max. We're 4 over our potential max.
okay. Yeah, I guess so. Spend some on downtime.
Okay.
I mean, I could say that I gambled one away.
Yeah, if you want to, and then do a different downtime activity for free.
All right. So we have to spend at least 4.
Right. As I said, me gambling one away is 1 cred.
All right. So.
Plus, it's another reason for you to yell at me, so that'll always be fun.
You can.
Do we need to spend a cred for upkeep?
Yes.
So that's another one.
All right, we're down to 10. I wouldn't mind being able to actually do something project or training.
Do you say for your long-term project?
What's that?
You said you wanted to do one for your long-term project?
Either that or training. Like if everyone
Okay.
doesn't mind if I take one of them.
Well, if you're doing it for your long-term project, what you do is you kind of start asking around about that archaeologist site that the archivist had mentioned. He wasn't asking you to do anything with it as a job. He was just telling you where you might be able to find another kind of those tablets. You start talking around Retributor Gold, and you learn that a team of adventurers went down to the site to kind of check on what happened to the other groups, and they were able to find their remains, and they found a lot of kind of stuff, and they're selling it, and so you're able to pick up the tablet, the other section of your tablet, which would be one more dot for your clock, for the price of 1 credit.
Nice. We got a full tablet now, people.
It's not a full tablet.
Oh, one more piece.
It
Oh.
was a 4th thing clock, wasn't it?
This is
Yeah.
a 6 clock, so we need six of
yeah,
six
sorry,
pieces.
6. Sorry, you have 2 of 6.
Okay.
Also, if I spend one of the creds on my vice, that means I have another free down activity. Okay. And then Runt said he was training, right, for like scrap or whatnot.
Yeah.
Could I train scrap with Runt?
Yeah, that's for 1 cost. You pay him. No, you pay to do it, right? Hold on a second, you guys. I gotta use.
Wait, I have to pay creds to train?
No.
No. I paid a cred for indulging my vice. I'm scrapping with you as my extra free time then.
Oh, okay. I was to say I've been training, so
Keep talking. I'm gonna be right back. Hold on.
Yeah.
No worries.
So we have to spend one more cred, guys.
why do we have to spend the cred? I don't understand.
We
Or
just-
we can save it.
We're only allowed to have 8 creds at a time.
Well, then fucking pay me for shooting that guy.
No, doesn't work that way.
I don't understand. Why can't we bank it? Can we buy some investments?
No,
I mean,
because
let's buy some security.
Jan, we're only allowed
Invest
to
in
carry around.
GameStonks.
We're only allowed to carry around 4 creds, and then we have a vault to store the leftovers. But the vault only holds 4 creds.
To be
We can
fair,
have a-
we do have a cred section on all of our individual character sheets.
Yeah. Give it to me. Here, let's start divvying up some creds so we can quit just spending it, right? Because I don't even know what to spend it on. So
That's
Let's not-
true. We do have.
Oh wow, we have a
It's-
huge thing on our cred ship. So
Something to be aware of.
it seems silly to have your currency capped out, and we've only played 3 sessions. That's stupid. Doesn't make any sense.
So-
John, I think, has been very generous with it. That's all.
Has he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
I don't
has
understand the currency. I don't know, man.
So would we agree to everyone gets paid a dividend of 1 cred and then we're down to 3?
Sure. If we can only hold 8.
And
On
the
the ship.
ship's creds, yes.
I don't even know where to put it on the character sheet.
There's like the section that has your name and heritage, advice, and stuff. And there's stress. Then there's trauma to the right of that. Below armor, heavy, special, there's a section that says cred.
Oh, I see. Wow. Why is there only? Okay.
Spot for 4 of them there, but I think the stash below that is more
Right, yeah.
creds that you could have stashed away. It's like creds on your person, creds in your stash.
Creds in your bank account.
So
What do you guys think we should do? As long as we're not just blowing creds because we don't feel like we can
Well-
carry them, because that seems really stupid.
well, it looks like as if we start paying ourselves instead of putting it to the ship like we had been, then we should be more than good.
Yeah, pay me.
So yeah, we all get paid 1 cred on our character.
I figured we were just like saving it all up to buy like a super badass ship. That's what I thought we were doing.
Well, upgrades, yeah, that's kind of like, but I don't know if you can buy upgrades. Like 1, you have to get somewhere that can sell them, and then 2, I don't know if you have to wait for a certain advancement of your ship first before you can acquire them. I gotta read up more.
Yeah.
I've really
those
not dug
chips
into the
still-
book yet. I really need to. I need to just spend a day and read the whole PDF. Just not had the time. Been busy staring at stupid stuff.
Stop staring at yourself in the mirror in your bathrobe, Dan.
Been eating green and red crowns all week.
Play by Coca-Cola. Oh, that's great.
So
All right, so what are we thinking we do next? We hop off the rock, or we maybe go check out. Because the dragon thing isn't actually a job. We could head back to the other station, and see if there's any jobs lying around. We could.
I mean, I don't really feel like there's much of a point of staying on this rock. It doesn't seem that populated, or like there's going to be a huge amount here from what John said.
The only thing is checking out that thing, but I think we need what? We need all 6 of the things to gain access to the temple.
What's that?
Yeah.
Do we need all 6 segments of my long-term project to gain access to that temple with the lizards?
No. No.
Okay.
No. What I'm telling you is that temple with the lizards that I mentioned, they found that tablet there. So you can go and check out that site if you want to, but the main reason you would have checked out that site was to find that tablet.
Okay.
Right. The tablet was more for, like a diagram for figuring out
The
stuff
Urbot.
and possibly upgrading Crunch so that he can actually
Okay.
like fly the ship.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. So now it's about going to different places to find other tablets to further my knowledge.
Right. So the first one was granted to you by the archivist. The second one, he told you about where it was, but you have no leads on 4, 5, 6. Or 3, 4, 5, 6.
Alright. Yeah. I vote hop off this raft.
Okay. And
Oh,
did
and
you...
John, we figured out the cred situation.
Great. I trust
We
you
have
to do so.
personal stashes. So
Okay.
that's where our creds are going now.
Perfect. Looking at the situation as it stands, let me go ahead and do one of these. You are currently on the planet of Cruciatu. We've had some information, and again, I apologize for not getting a handout to you sooner, and I don't have it finished yet, so I'm sorry. But Cruciatu has 3 moons: Sinji, Sikalg, and Sutnev. You can check out any one of those moons if you'd like. There's other planets, some of which you've kind of gotten some information from. Is there anywhere that you're interested in going at current?
I guess, could we try to get in contact with Afixa to see if it has any work for us?
Get in contact with the Raiders is one thought. Anybody have any ideas?
I mean, the other thing we could always do is just head to a random place and test our luck out.
Such a gambler.
Yeah, you know, don't take risks.
Well, here's one. We got, Flynn, I've been meaning to talk to you, but we got some updated star map, or old star maps, that we might be able to go broker a deal with the Starsmiths Guild.
Oh, good point.
From them.
Eh,
Or you can just check them yourselves and see what might be cracking. So regarding those
I mean,
maps,
we can always make a copy of it ourselves, right?
I would say
Or-
so. And you could sell the copy, but you could also investigate the copy or investigate your copy first before giving that information to others
Yeah.
who might
Yeah, that sounds good.
jump on it faster than you. So what you would note is it looks like one of the most important planets in the system, according to the is the planet of Rasa, which is the planet that's closest to the star of Dracia.
Oh, this. Oh, there's Roas and Rasa. That's confusing.
Yes. Roas is farther out, of course. Other planets that are important to the would be Cogito, and
Ergo Sum.
Jane. These are the 3 most important planets to the Now, what you know about those planets is Rasa is kind of a desert planet close to the sun. It has, a gas or oxygen rich environment. So, I mean, it's livable, but it is extremely hot and not exactly the best climate, to be sure. And you would know, too, that the planet has a couple of different churches or cults on it. The Church of the Stellar Flame and the Cult of the Seekers have basically rights to explore the planet according to the hegemony. That's not to say other people don't try for it, but they definitely do get assistance from the hegemony when it comes to protecting their rights to seek it and search it. The Cult of the Seekers obviously are a group of people who are wanting to find Earth shit. So apparently they've already come across the same information as you have. The planet of Cogito, so far as you know, is a mining world. It is, or was rich in materials. The Cobalt Syndicate and Wutani Incorporated kind of focus their processes on Cogito. It's also where the Imish are located, and it's also the planet that you collected one Vieva from when you acquired them. And then Jane is a gas giant. Why the Ur would be interested in that planet specifically? Can't say. Nobody lives on it because it's a gas giant. There are many moons around Jane, one of which is Jane Shin, where the Jane Shin people come from. But yeah, like I said, there really isn't much in the way of yeah. There's like 22 moons around Jane. There isn't much on the planet that would normally cause it to be interesting. It's the only planet in the entire system that has a ring structure. Also, not something that's terribly important, but maybe, I don't know.
Oh, well, gonna go looking for work. My money would be on heading to Jane Shen, seeing what's up, or Cogito.
I have no problem with that. Anyone else?
I'm just all along for the ride.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool.
Rut, you would know that the farther you get out towards the edge of the system, the more likely a chance you run into Hesh. But
Oh,
not to say that that's or going to happen. It's just the Hesh come from outside of the system and enter in through the Adlat system, which, if you look, there's like a gate symbol. If you're entering into Dracia from Adlat, you're kind of coming into the exit ring.
thank you. You guys would notice, like, I don't know. Have they seen me come into contact with Hesh yet?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the Night Beast is more known about to them than the Hesh. You are the one who has all the cards on that one.
Cool. Yeah. I'll just bounce around for now. I'm good.
Okay.
Let's go.
Andy, what sounds good to you?
I'm good with what Matt said.
Zach,
Matt said two things, didn't he?
Kogito or Jane Shen?
Well,
And
yeah,
you-
I think we said Jameson. Right
I
now.
want to go to Jane if I had a choice. I thought we were going to Jane.
Okay.
Let's check her out.
Okay. So Jane is where you're headed. From
Well, wait. Did Zach have anything else he wanted to say? Okay.
from the planet of Cruciatu, it'll take probably about
Hey,
5
why
days.
is Zach the ones with the drugs all the time, man? He's always got the drugs.
I don't
He's
know
the
why
medic.
is that.
What is that, Zach?
Why is that?
We call it typecasting.
Fair play. But yeah, it takes
You
about
lean into it though.
5 days to get to Jane. You plug in the coordinates, and the episode kind of ends with the ship kind of shooting into sublight speed, because there's no faster than light travel really in this setting, as you head towards the planet. And we'll pick up not next week, but the week following with the next episode. Thanks for watching, those that did.